The Indian Meteorological Department has labelled 2023 as the warmest year since 1901. From unpredictable climatic shifts to extreme weather conditions, India has faced its fair share of challenges. These uncertainties, ranging from erratic monsoons to severe cyclonic events, have significantly disrupted agriculture, infrastructure, and livelihoods. As India navigates through these consequences, it's clear that adapting to weather-related challenges is crucial for India's well-being. I spoke to Dr. Monika Gupta, Assistant Professor, SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, Mumbai, to understand the effects of climate change on the Indian economy.
Around $159 billion income loss due to the heat and humidity. Similarly, RBI recently estimated there is a 4.5% GDP loss due to such climatic issues. So, for example, I would like to take this example. This Amphan cyclone which came, it shows that there was a 13 billion losses overall in terms of economic and social cost. And then there's also future estimates. So UN organization estimated that there is around 3 to 10% GDP loss, annual GDP loss, average annual GDP loss in India.
By the end of this century, India is estimated to suffer about 35% in GDP loss when compared to other Asia-Pacific countries, which is expected to record only 24% of GDP loss. Estimates like these show how climatic events can affect our economy's well-being. India's challenge lies in its geographical landscape, where each state has its own topography, making them vulnerable to different types of natural disasters.
So since India has diversity and different regions having different climatic issues because of their geographical setting, so therefore this should be one criteria. The second criteria, that historically which states have faced different climatic issues and different crisis, natural disaster. So this is the second, and the third also income level. So when we allocate fund, it should be on an equitable state, and we know that all states are not at equitable level. So for example, Odisha, in terms of the state gross domestic product, is not doing good as compared to the Maharashtra and Gujarat region. So then there should be more fund allocation for the Odisha state. And then if suppose we talk about the Jharkhand, we know that there are more tribals living there, and they are also facing heat of this such issues because they are completely dependent on the natural resources. They are living in the forest, and there are several issues, floods. They don't have resilient infrastructure, resilient homes. So one side we have Thar Desert, other side we have Great Himalayas, and then they have Indo-Gangetic Plain. Then they have peninsular plateau in the middle, and then we have coastal region. Now all these different regions face different climate issues. So for example, coastal issues are more prone to humidity and cyclones. The central region again drought and thunderstorm, and similarly the Thar has heat waves, and Himalayas we have seen recently the floods, the cloudburst, and the landslide. So different regions face different issues. They are heavily dependent on monsoon, the land quality is continuously decreasing, and then we are not having organic nature of farming. So again, if you look at this agriculture part and farmer, again it becomes like they are poor and becoming poorer and poorer because of this natural thing. So there is one framework which is adopted by various states recently, which is known as PDNA, Post-Disaster Need Assessment. So this is an international assessment framework to assess the losses, the economic and social losses happened because of these calamities and the disaster. So earlier some states do this for the major climatic issues or natural disaster to attract the fund from the international organization like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and UN Forum. But now all the disasters have been, that the economic losses happened because of this climatic issues are accounted by the state. So what is this framework? What they do, First, as I mentioned, they do some economic and social loss assessment. How they do, they see that how these particular events are affecting, one, the gross national income, that is gross domestic income, that is GDP. Second, balance of payment, and tenth, so balance of payment, because they want to see that how it is affecting a country in terms of the trade and external affairs. So that takes care of by the balance of payment. And third is the fiscal budget. So what they say that how revenue in different sectors have affected because of these events.
From agricultural disruptions to changing weather patterns affecting various sectors, the challenges are evident. However, by recognizing these challenges, implementing sustainable practices, and fostering international cooperation, India has the potential to mitigate the adverse effects of climate change.